Hey, Russ here. Welcome back to the shop. Let me set this coffee cup down. Okay, today I'm going to do a show me. What is a show me? That's my video series about when I see something on the internet, on the web in particular, that's not correct. Sometimes I just got to say something. And this one in particular is about a channel called Woodwork Web. Woodwork Web. The guy is Colin Connect. I don't know if you know him or not. I've been a subscriber of his for years. He's always put out very good information. In fact, my very first video I ever did was had to do with one of his videos, but it wasn't because he made an incorrect statement. It was the fact that people were commenting on how he built something, and they said that he was doing it too complicated or wrong or something. He actually was dead on the money about it. So I ended up doing a video about that, and it got pretty good response and made sense of what I was saying. So anyway, I'll leave a link to that video if you're interested. I'm also going to leave a link to Colin's video that I'm talking about here today. The name of the video was Bad Ideas in Woodworking, episode 3. And he was talking about things that go wrong, that you do wrong in a shop. And one of the things he was talking about, the very first item that he was talking about was about Outfeed supports for your table saw. So if you have a real long piece and as you go out, to keep it from falling off, you set out this little stand and you put on there. And he talked about 2 styles in particular. One of them was the roller type, and the other one was the ball transfer, the ball type. And you can get either one out there on the web now, on Amazon or just about anywhere. But on the one, you just have a nice long roller, and your piece comes along, and it just rolls right across on the Outfeed and helps support it so it doesn't fall. The other one was this, and where you put the piece on here, and you roll it out this way. And what he was saying was that this one here wasn't very good, and this is not one that he recommended at all. And actually, he was kind of mistaken about that. He was right about this in one way. It does not allow it to fall in between. Like a small piece like this can actually get in between and cause problems. So, but what he didn't know is, I was in the material handling industry. These are actually called ball transfer units. And if you look up a ball transfer table, you'll see it's something very similar to this. It's just a ball in a socket that rolls around, and it's multi-directional. It can go roll in any direction. So that means anything that rolls on it can roll in any direction. This is a directional roller, and it's designed to roll straight ahead no matter what you do. The problem with, and what he said was that he preferred this one. And quite honestly, I think this one is not a very good one myself. And the reason I say that is that if you've ever used one of these, when you set it up on the other side of your saw, and you set it up and you have your piece going through here, especially wider pieces, if you have something really wide that you're putting on here, what can happen is, if you don't have this exactly perpendicular to the travel, what's going through your blade, if you have this thing tipped at an angle a little bit, then when this piece goes through here, it will tend to follow that angle. And that means that it'll actually pull it away from that fence on a wider board when you go across. The narrower the board, the less likely it'll follow that travel. But it can very easily, and it'll pull you away from the wall and mess you up right in the middle of your cut when you least expect it sometimes. That's why I don't really like these at all for an Outfeed. There were times when, yeah, that's what you want. Like maybe something like this is probably very good on not the jointer, the planer, my electric planer. Use 2 or 3 of these in a row, makes a great Outfeed for your planer as it's coming across and coming out. But for your table saw, you really want to use this type. But where he was wrong about this, when he said that this was not a very good one, he was right when he said this thing, when you have a narrow piece, it'll fall in between as you're trying to push it through, depending upon where this thing is sitting. But in all reality, this is an incorrect way of setting it up. This is the way you always seem to buy them. I've never seen them any other way but this way. But what we learned in the material handling industry is you can take the balls and you actually put them in a stagger. So you have 2 rows here. instead of one. And then when it comes over here, you always have a ball to catch then on your piece. So if I set this up and I'm going to bring this out, this piece, and it's very narrow, when I hit this ball, it works great. When you hit this ball, it works great. And when you hit the center, it's going in between. But by putting the third one, putting the second row in there and staggering where it is, now it will always hit a ball no matter where this is at. No matter, and even when it's thin, it will not go in between the balls. One of these balls will catch it and help hold it up. So if you buy one like this, just take them off and make your own stand for it and stagger and put it in 2 rows. And this thing works actually very, very well then as an outfeed. It does not give you any direction. It will hold your piece on there so that you drive it and you completely control the direction. It will not take and drift off your fence with this type of setup. So if you're going to do a support table, they work great. I myself, I'm sorry, Colin, I wouldn't use this. This is the way to go. Get some of these ball transfer units and do it this way. So anyway, that's it in a nutshell. I just wanted to point that out. I assume he probably just didn't know how these things really do work. So sometimes that happens. Colin, I love your show. Keep up the good work. I hope this doesn't offend you. And by the way, if you hadn't noticed, if you're as old as I am, you remember. But he reminds me, every time I see him, he reminds me of Captain Kangaroo. Sorry, Colin, but you do. Anyway, I do appreciate it. I hope you watch my channel more all the time. But if you don't, that's okay too. Most importantly, though, please come back again because I'm nowhere near done. Leave the comments in the comment. Don't forget to hit that like button if you liked it or if you learned something here. But please, make sure you do come back. Now then, where the hell did I put my coffee? This will take me half hour to find now. Thanks. We'll see you again soon.